More stuff on Moodle. I figured this one will concentrate on the quizzes, creation of how to pick questions, timing, and all the other fun stuff. So I'm just going to use my summer online class. I'll delete it later. So the first thing you have to do is turn on editing, which is a button up here in the top right hand corner. Go to the module or the block that you want to put the quiz in, and you have to go to the bottom of it, sadly, and add an activity. So the activity I want to add is a quiz. And then just say add. Alright, this one I'm going to call delete me, because I really don't want it. Now, you have a choice. You can put a little description in here about what the quiz is about. You can have it display on the main page, but it makes it kind of weird looking when you do that, in the sense that it's not just all links that the student can click on. It creates a text right on the front page, and I usually don't like putting that there. Timing is important. If you want them to begin at a certain date, end at a certain date, if you want to give them a time limit, I wouldn't even mess with the other settings. For homeworks, I usually don't give a time limit. I definitely do have an end date because I really want them to do it by the closing date. Alright, so you can set those. A calendar will come up. Nothing can happen until you check the enable box, by the way. So when you click these, you get these features. Oh, there it is, the calendar feature. This one's nice. That way you can get an idea of what day of the week we're talking about rather than just numbers. So, May 25th. I usually do it at the very end of the day, 11:59 at night. Okay. Grade is important because if you don't choose a category, it automatically goes into uncategorized. Then it becomes a heavy grade for the class, in case you're using grades in Moodle to calculate things out. I usually do unlimited, so they can do it over and over again. Highest grade is the best method. Layout, I like new pages every question, but you can change it. I wonder what this is. Oh, this is that navigation. It gives you the little 1, 2, 3, 4 in the top left-hand corner. So I usually leave that free so they can go to any question they want. Question behavior. For homework, I like interactive with multiple tries. Review options. Since it's interactive with multiple tries, I like telling them whether they're correct. And if they get it wrong, it'll show them the right answer. In the sense of at the very end of their 3 tries that I have set up. And you can increase the number of tries. It just takes a little bit more work. So I like going through and saying whether they're correct and whether they have the right answer. So I'll mark all these boxes. Alright, appearance. If you don't want the tutors to help them, go down here to show more under appearance and show blocks during the quiz. If you do not want the tutors to help students with this, leave it on no. If you want them to help, click on yes. So if the tutors see the blocks on the left and the right, they know they can help the students on these assignments. And if they don't see them, then they've been warned not to go anywhere near them. The only other thing, and I don't see it here, layout, grade, timing. Maybe it's under one of these other things. Here it is, extra restrictions on attempt. If you want to allow them to go on the web or do other work on a computer, you might want to disable this. But it's normally set at full screen pop-up with some JavaScript security. So in other words, the window blows up, they don't get to see anything else on their computer screen, and it kind of locks them out unless they know some cool computer tricks. So if you want them to get to like other web pages and stuff, like especially in the financial one, they have to look up monthly payments. So I usually turn that to none for them. And if it's a homework, usually I want them to be able to go back and watch a movie and stuff. Now, if it's a quiz or I'm not asking them to look up anything, I'll leave it on full screen pop-up with Java security. So this one I'm going to put for none. If you want to give them feedback, you can. I'm not really good at that stuff. And restricting access, I sometimes attach it to a previous assignment, so they have to get like a 70 on the previous assignment before they can get to the next one. You can use this button here to add a grade requirement or a date requirement. And that's about all the ones I would use. So you hit grade, you would choose some assignment, the icebreaker, and then you would say check must be greater than a 70, and then just hit add restriction. Ooh, not add restriction. I guess save and return. If you have to add another restriction, you can click here and add another one of those. And I was thinking of one that would be really good. Even if you did a grade, like if you had a review to do, like they took the final exam and their grade was less than a 70, then you can have an assignment they have to do for review. And then hit save and submit. Save and return to course. I really do have to remember to delete this. Okay, so now it shows up at the bottom of the block, delete me, and you can move it where you want, depending on where it goes. Later in the modules, like if I wanted to add a quiz to module 2 at the top, I'll add it in the first block, and then I'll drag it down because it's a little shorter distance. So there's neat little tricks you can play. Alright, so let's add questions to delete me. And we're going to edit the quiz. And we are going to add from a question bank. And then you can get to choose out of all of these. Even though they're organized by weeks, you might want to get into them and see what's really going on. So I try to give decent titles. They're not the best. But over here to the side, you can actually pull up a window of a preview of the question to see, what it's asking, how many boxes there are, and if it's complex or not. So, and you can actually do the work to see if it, works out, and see how things work. Alright, so that gives you a preview of the questions. If you want to add specific ones, you can click on them, or you can hit the plus sign. I didn't like that when I used it, so I usually would check off the ones I want, and then add selected questions to the quiz. Now once you add them, they're automatically in the quiz. You don't have to hit a save button or anything like that. And you can add multiple areas, so I added those from week 2. You can go back, question bank. If you have another group like the labor picture questions, you can add on a few of those. And then add select questions quiz. So you can get this smorgasbord. You can also, I think it's best to add questions at the very bottom of a page. So there's always these add buttons in between. But it seems the best, because it was causing weird things to happen earlier, to go to the bottom. So here I'll choose week 9. There's 20 questions in there. I'll add 3 random questions and then add random selection. And it seems to separate the pages automatically for those 3 there, the random questions from week 9. One thing you might want to do is, if you want all the questions to be equally balanced, you can go over here and change all of these numbers to be very similar. Click on the little pencil there. I want them to all be 1s, so you can just go through and change them. Now if you just click on the next one, it doesn't change, so you have to go 1 and then return, and it changes it. Same thing with titles in the main page or anywhere you see these little pencils. Once you change them, you have to hit enter for them to register. Now the reason some of these are 3 and others are 1, usually the 3 has 3 answer blocks. The 1 probably just has 1 answer block or 1 main question. So now they're all equally balanced out score-wise. Oops. Alright, so then it should all be set for the students to take this quiz called Delete Me. They would just enter it and start the quiz up. And there it is. All 16 questions of it.